welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another video. So today's video is going to be an example of a high protein day of eating. So I wanted to make a breakfast, lunch, and dinner that equates to 100 grams of protein. So we have here over 100 grams of protein in a day worth of food. Obviously you can add in little snacks, but this is just a sample meal plan for you if you are interested in a slightly higher protein vegan diet. It is easily achievable, and I wanted to make this even more of a challenge by not using any protein powders or any mock meats. So no protein powders, no mock meats are used in this video, and I have nothing against those things, by the way. I think they are great, especially for convenience, but I know that they can be expensive and some people just don't want to use protein powder or mock meats. So yeah, we're just focusing on mostly whole plant foods today. So hopefully this video is helpful to you guys. And before we jump in, I just want to let you know that my No More Cabbage Soup ebook is out. If you did not know, I released it, I think a month or so ago. It is a weight loss friendly vegan recipes ebook. It has over 110 vegan recipes that are great for sustainable weight loss. Delicious, lots of high protein recipes. The ebook is now available for purchase. The link is down below. I also have ebook bundles where you can get a few of my ebooks for a cheaper price. So definitely check that out. All the info will be down below. So definitely check out my No More Cabbage Soup ebook. Now, without further ado, let's jump into this high protein day of eating, starting with, of course, breakfast. For breakfast, we are going to make scrambled tofu with some teriyaki tempeh. First, heat a little oil on a nonstick pan on medium-high heat. Then we're going to add some plain tempeh slices, or if you want, you can actually just use tempeh bacon, which I often eat as well, and that way you don't have to flavor it, but I decided to make teriyaki tempeh. Anyway, on the other side of the pan, we are going to crumble up some tofu with our fingers, and on the other side, we're gonna make a little more room. We're gonna add in some chopped tomatoes. Now cook these separately for a couple of minutes or until most of the water has evaporated from the tofu and it begins to kind of start getting a little golden, yes. Then we're going to combine the tofu and tomatoes, and then we're going to add our scrambled tofu seasoning. I have a recipe for this, guys, which I'll link down below. This seasoning makes making scrambled tofu super easy and of course very delicious. All you need is just this one seasoning that you add to your scrambled tofu, and that's it. Highly recommend making this, and it just makes your life so much easier. Plus, it's very delicious. So we're just going to cook that, and once the scrambled tofu is cooked, I set that aside and let the tempeh brown up some more. And once the tempeh becomes nice and golden brown on both sides, I turn the heat down to a low, and then I added in some teriyaki sauce for the flavor. I just use store-bought teriyaki. You can always make your own as well. I have a recipe for vegan teriyaki sauce in my Everyday Asian Recipes ebook if you are interested, but if you're lazy, you can just buy it. I flipped the tempeh pieces a few times back and forth to just let the sauce absorb, and then let's plate it. We're gonna serve this with a side of baby carrots because we gotta get in our veggies, and of course we need our carbs too, so let's add some toasted bread. And I always like to top my scrambled tofu with ketchup. Let me know down below if you like that too. And of course I also love some green onions, and I also have some hummus to eat with my carrots and also my toast. And I am sorry, but this is a complete breakfast if you ask me. I consider this the breakfast of champions. Now this meal comes to approximately 553 calories, 22 grams of fat, 59 grams of carbs, and 32 grams of protein. So we are already starting off really strong here, guys. For lunch, we are making a tofu edamame rice bowl. Once again, we're going to add some oil on a nonstick pan on medium-high heat, and let's add in some medium firm or extra firm tofu. I'm using extra firm here, but I often like to use medium firm because I like to basically make my tofu kind of similar to a fried egg. So on the side here, I'm also going to add in some frozen edamame beans. I'm just thawing the edamame beans with the heat, and I also added a side of broccoli as well. So we're just going to cook this up until the edamame has completely thawed and basically cooked, and the broccoli is nice and green and slightly cooked. While we let that cook, we're going to take some rice in a bowl and add in some soy sauce and toasted sesame oil, and we're going to mix that well. When I was young and living in Korea, I used to just eat plain rice mixed with soy sauce and sesame oil, and that was so good, even just like that and nothing else. But we're adults now, so we need to add some more things. Once we've cooked the tofu for a few minutes, I'm just going to flip it over to cook it on the other side. And we just want to cook the tofu until it's nice and golden on each side. And the tofu is going to take longer than the other stuff, so we are just going to put the broccoli and of course the edamame beans straight into that bowl and just cook the tofu a little bit longer. Now once your tofu is nicely golden on both sides, this part is optional, but I love to make the tofu an eggy tofu by adding in some kala namak. If you guys watch my videos regularly, you guys know I love doing this. So I just like to use kala namak, also known as black salt, and that will give your eggs an eggy taste, and obviously it gives more flavor. And I love using this with medium firm tofu, especially because it really reminds me of like a fried egg. Anyway, once that's done, we're going to add that into the bowl, and on the side I'm going to serve this with some vegan kimchi. And if you need a vegan kimchi recipe, I'll link my mom's down below. And top your bowl with some green onions if you like, and that comes to around 527 calories, 18 grams of fat, 63 grams of carbs, and 30 grams of protein. And for dinner, we are going to make a super easy vegan classic. Let's make a vegan lentil bolognese pasta. We're starting by adding some red split lentils into a non-stick pan, and let's add double the amount of water. Let that cook on medium-high heat or so, and red split lentils should soften and cook quite quickly, about 10 to 15 minutes I would say. And while that's happening, you can cook your pasta according to instructions. I'm using a high-protein spaghetti, and I'm going to cook some asparagus with the pasta as well because I am lazy to cook it separately. So while that's cooking and once the lentils have softened mostly, I'm going to add some pasta sauce, and I'm just using regular old store-bought pasta sauce. Let that pasta sauce and lentils cook together on medium to medium-low heat until the lentils have completely softened. And this part is optional, but I'm also going to add in a little bit of Italian seasoning, or a lot of Italian seasoning, up to you. Obviously, feel free to add in any sort of spices and seasonings as you wish. And once the pasta is cooked, I'm going to drain and add the pasta into the sauce and mix this well, and just kind of let that heat up and let that finish, making love in the pan. And this part is totally optional, but I decided to basically cook up the asparagus a little longer on a pan with a little bit of vegan butter. So that's what we're doing now. And once that's done, of course, you can add it into our lovely dinner plate. Obviously, I recommend adding in some veggies and stuff like that to every single meal. So that is another reason why I'm adding the asparagus, okay? And of course, we can top the pasta with some fresh or dry parsley. I've been really loving just always adding fresh parsley into every single pasta dish. And I also like to, of course, add some salt and pepper to taste. And that's pretty much it. Very, very simple, you guys. It's so easy, but it's such a delicious and comforting meal. And this meal comes out to around 641 calories per serving, 9 grams of fat, 105 grams of carbs, and 38 grams of protein. Once again, I used a high protein pasta, so that's what I would recommend if you are trying to kind of up your protein. And that's pretty much it. This makes the total of this day 1,721 calories and a total of 100 grams of protein. And that's not including any snacks or anything you could add into this day as well. So one thing I tried to do with this video was to not make the calories insanely high, because of course it's easy to get 100 grams of protein if you're eating like 3,000 calories, okay? So that's why I tried to keep the calories relatively low, and I think I did a pretty good job at keeping it below 2,000 calories and still hitting 100 grams of protein. I usually eat more than 2,000 calories in a day, so feel free to add in snacks and things like that. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a higher percentage of the calories from protein rather than just a high number of grams of protein, if that makes sense. So that's something you want to keep in mind if you're looking for high protein vegan meals. So that is it for my full day of eating high protein style, 100 plus grams of protein. You can send this video to anyone that doubts that vegans get enough protein. You can definitely have a high protein vegan diet. And just by the way, you don't need to have 100 grams of protein a day. This is just depending on your fitness goals, depending on your own personal diet and your own personal body, you do whatever you want, okay? I like to eat a slightly higher protein diet. I very rarely eat like fully 100 grams of protein a day, but sometimes I want to eat slightly higher protein depending on what my goals are. Anyway, hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, give it a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Check out my No More Cabbage Soup ebook, and that's it, I think. Tell everyone about my channel, okay? Bye guys, thanks for watching, bye!